Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Claude Ray, Skip Bayless, and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal to the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket, put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world and on 2 separate platforms at the same time, YouTube Live and Facebook Live. And Jimmy, we got so many people. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna just state thank to the people that send the emails and the texts and the direct messages. And shout out to all the first responders and the doctors and the nurses and the food supply chain. Thank y'all for what y'all do for us, Jimmy, as we shelter in our prospective places. Sometimes it's pretty crazy, man. It's like it's Groundhog Day every day. You wake up every day and it's Groundhog's Day. So, but I got some so the NFL draft was this weekend. Everybody was watching. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Everybody seemed to like what they saw. Jimmy, I think over 50 million people, they said, watch this draft over the weekend. And Jimmy, we had some Houston area talent, and we had some, Texas talent that went in that first round. Y'all remember a few months ago, and I know y'all didn't understand what I was trying to tell y'all. I said plainly, we have got to get used to us being successful. We've got to be, in other words, it's okay, black man, for another black man to be successful without you getting jealous and hating on it. I said that months ago because I was preparing you. You got young kids who grew up in our community. Guess what? They about to achieve a lot of amount of success. So let's embrace it instead of hate on it. We've been used to it. I mean, we've been conditioned to do that. And my goal is to get y'all to understand that it's okay. It's okay for Josh Jones, a guy who grew up in this community, went to played with TJ Ford basketball, went to Bush High School, was coached by Ronnie Courtney in basketball. This young man, his life changed. And I'm so proud of all of them. A lot of them I did know. CeeDee Lamb, Jimmy, your guys from Elkins. I don't know their names. Two of those guys you mentioned them, but it's just I'm just so proud. You remember y'all? I told y'all weeks ago that the reason I love the draft because I love how when a young man and their families be blessed and put in a situation to acquire generational wealth if they do it right. And it's just something about me just love. Yeah, I always tell all you guys who, man, the NFL ain't this, the NFL ain't this. And Jimmy, what are my biggest argument? The NFL makes more black millionaires than any other American company in the world. Better than Apple, better than all these other companies. They make more black. That's why I've always supported them. I don't support the things they do, but I support the league because of stuff like this. You got guys who just got. I mean, they just got blessed. They worked on their craft, and I'm just so proud of these guys. Now we got to retain it, Jimmy. We got to put them in a position. Because all I want you to understand, if you know any of these guys, if you have influence, not know them, because right now they ain't listening to everybody right now. I'm just telling you, don't get mad. They don't listen to everybody right now. They even don't even listen to the parents that much right now, which they should though. But let me tell you something, young men, if you're listening, use this draft and use this money as an economic springboard for your future. An economic springboard, not just it. That's it. I played football. That's it. Use it as a springboard. So that means you have to save it. You have to invest it. You got to do a lot. Yeah, buy your mama stuff. I'm not telling you not to do certain. Just do stuff within reason and understand how much your money really is. Understand how much $1 million really is. And I'll break it down. I wish I could talk to you, and I'll break it down to you how much it really is. And Jimmy, it's a special day for me because I've been had a busy week. But so I just had to get all of that out. We got a special guest going to join us at 12:30, and he's going to talk about the draft. He got a unique role in the path to the draft. He got a unique role. So we're going to talk to him today. But Jimmy, what you got? What you got today, Bob?
Well, I mean, on the NFL draft, once again, basically it's a home run for the draft, for bitter and sweet, and a lot of the undercurrents from day one of the NFL draft, which averaged over 8 million viewers throughout the whole weekend. It averaged 8 million viewers, which is up about 36% from the year before. Well, think about the undercurrent. What were some of the undercurrents from the first day? And I want to tell you like this. I don't watch much of the NFL football draft. As I explained to you guys before, I'm not that type of an NFL football draft fan. I probably watch more of the NFL draft because I was at home most of the time this year than any of the past 20 years combined for his minutes. I just didn't.
You and a lot of people.
It's like this. Yeah. For some of you guys, if that was the hockey draft, how would you have felt about that? That's about how I feel about the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Me.
And that's how I feel about the baseball draft. So I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how, and so we could understand that. So that doesn't make it bad, but what I watched, I saw the undercurrent that came from it. And remember, this was
you mentioned that twice.
This was a digital format. So the undercurrent made it prime for conversations on the digital formats, which extend from the NFL draft, which would be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. And that is the girlfriends of the guys that got drafted in the first round. That was one of the largest, one of the largest undercurrents, not the biggest thing they talked about, but those were attractions that went all different variety. Then the second one was the negative connotations that ESPN purposely posted on the screen from various guys who got drafted, meaning mama was addicted to drugs, father went to jail 5 years. You know, I mean, those connotations, once again, went and found a direct beeline to social media, which enabled other people who didn't watch to say, for day two, well, let's see what's going to happen on day two then. So that made day two become even more popular. People was waiting to see if anything similar was going to happen. Who's going to be the next girlfriend to thrust themselves out onto this platform of such? But overall, it was a great thing, and now all of a sudden, the NFL commissioner is getting kudos for his efforts. And once again, if you think this is good, there ain't no way in the world that the NBA is going to let the NFL outdo them on this type with their draft. Mm-hmm. Ain't no way. I just don't believe it. So NFL, especially being the NBA, will have at least 2 to 3 months to prepare for their digital presentation.
I mean, I hope so, and because they I mean, it's just Jim. It's just so much you can do. It's just so much you can do on a digital platform.
It's much more. Huh? It's much more.
What else can you do? Tell me what since it's much more.
You could take a break, right? And go into a break. You can go and give a 2-minute break. You get right. You can go and give a quick concert or a quick song by one of the hip hop artists. You know, that means now you're gonna get more viewers from that generation that don't really care. That understand that sales, that draw, because you know what happens? Here's the thing. If let's say, I'm using a guy like a Kanye West that may have multiple million followers. Think about it. This is a digital imprint. So if that person is going to perform or going to sing one song, so Drake.
When you gonna take the break though?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm giving an example of what you can see happening. They can put that in there. Maybe after the lotto. Lotto was what, 14 picks? Then you getting ready to go to the rest of the first round? A song. You see what I'm saying? That way now.
You got to remember it's going to be it's shorter. It's not as long as the NFL draft. It ain't but 2 rounds, ain't but 30 teams. I mean, it's some teams don't have draft picks. So it's I guess you could fill a lot of time. I guess if you want to drag it out, then I think people gonna talk negative about it. I'm telling you. Yeah, but people gonna say, man, we're basketball purists. We want to look at the basketball. I'm just telling you. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just trying to figure out the other night. And you talking about $8 million a night, but $55 million people purported this morning watched it. I'm talking about, I don't know how they add that up, but 55 million people watched it. And I sit back and say, wow, if they watch that. So I guess you said they can play up.
That's all platforms.
Yeah,
But that's all. The 8 million was just on ESPN alone, on the television.
Okay.
So two different. That's everything was the 55 million.
But it's just what is so unique about it, though. I guess it's always competition. To me, I never thought about it like that. Now the NBA has the top this. Man, the NBA trying to figure out how they're gonna start their season, and something happened. Well, we ain't gonna get there today. Something happened over the weekend that make me think that they think it's gonna be a season on the horizon. But back to NFL, man, it's just let's talk about the girl. Let's since the girlfriends and people were texting me, right? And I wasn't commenting, right? And they were just talking about the CeeDee Lamb. Let's go to CeeDee Lamb. Since he's a Houston guy, from Louisiana, I think, but went to Foster High School. I sit back and watched his. If you haven't seen it, Jimmy, you know I got it queued up. Some of us have not seen it, so let me go with the latest one I put.
He can do that. He's hit him very explosive. He'll take that big hit, hold on to the football. He can do that. He's hit him very explosive. He'll take that big hit, hold on to the football. He can do that. He's hit him very explosive. He'll take that big hit, hold on to the football. Knows how to find the open area in that defense. Obviously, coming out of Oklahoma, they scheme to get him the football, so route running, what the transition to.
Bad for the girl, and Jimmy, and like I told somebody who asked me, and I want women to postpone. I know you don't mess with everybody's phone, but the way she grabbed that phone, Jimmy, was like she was used to looking at his phone and like he was used to looking at hers. This particular time, the explanation that they give, did you hear about the explanation that they gave, Jimmy?
No, I didn't.
Okay, the explanation was he was on the phone in this phone with the Dallas Cowboys. Okay?
Yeah, I did hear something about they saying the agent was calling on the phone. I think I did hear that.
Okay, so his agent was FaceTiming on that phone. So guess what? He wasn't hiding it. It was right. She right there next to her. She said she was just trying to assist him. And what he was probably saying, look, I don't need to talk to him yet. That's where he was. Everybody looked at like she was, cause I've been in that situation before, not with the girls, but this phone call is not as important as this phone call. So leave it alone right now, because I can't answer it. I don't need you answering it. I can't answer it. Just shake it off. So I just, at first I looked at it because I thought CeeDee Lamb was looking he came off as kind of aggressive. And he know he was on TV. And you had to watch what you do on TV. And I thought it put the girls. And then they went and got in all the girls' business. They went back and got all her business. She used to mess with Trey. She used to date Trae Young. I guess she's from Oklahoma and went to that university because Trae Young was a freshman at Oklahoma a couple of years ago. CeeDee Lamb was a player so the girl dated, both of those guys. So they went back all in the girls' history and everything. I just, me, when I looked at it over and over, I felt bad how they vilified the young lady, talking about she ain't gonna make it to training camp, she ain't gonna do this, she ain't gonna do, I didn't like that because it just didn't have to go that far. But Jimmy, the one that I did agree with, when Isaiah Wilson, the big offensive lineman from, I'm gonna think of it in a minute, he's sitting there, Jimmy, the reason he was sitting there crying, Jimmy, he was he had got a third and a fourth round grade, Jimmy. Okay? Third and fourth round grade. So he didn't expect that. So that's why he was in a daze. And his girlfriend, who happened to look a lot older than he did, she looked like about 49. And happened to be, yes, she did. Happened to be a white girl. Girlfriends, after 30 years in this business, that right there is not a time for you. At the draft, he probably hugged his mom first. Always hug the mom first. Baby, you broke protocol. And the mom physically jerked this girl up off Now, Jimmy, I've never seen nothing like that in my life. I've never seen nothing like that. So that's my take on it, y'all, because I'm going to always, I've been around situations like that before, Jimmy. So sometimes I try to rationalize a little bit more than sensationalize. So what you got to say?
Well, first, the young lady with Trae Young, that was his ex-girlfriend, but understand something, guys. That was one of his high school sweetheart. That was his high school. So it wasn't like, because a lot of times people, misled, like she's one of those girls that's hanging around the college at OU, just waiting on the next guy. Her and Trae Young, now most time if it's high school love or high school puppy love, as they used to call it, then, it's a different degree. They both in Norman, Oklahoma. That's what I think she went to school down there, so that's where Trae Young is from. So understand, it's a pre-existing relationship. It wasn't like Trae Young was not a millionaire. Trae Young was, don't get it twisted.
I said
he
college.
was
Yeah. He was a star,
but
though. He was a McDonald. Excuse me, sir. He was a McDonald All-American.
I'm just saying, but before that, she was with him in 11th grade. They was there for 6 years, Adam.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah. Listen, Trae Young, 6 years. So they're saying,
I don't know about it. Yeah.
Let's round the 6 years off to 5. Mm-hmm. So 5 years, we'll say, they were together. So if you count college, he only was one and done. Mm-hmm. That means they were like 8th, 9th grade. So that means it was a whole different relationship, a dynamic.
Make sure you send me that information because I hadn't read none of that information. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And mind you, she was at Peace Jam with Trae Young. Peace Jam comes before the McDonald game. Before you even pick, that's the summer before. That's what I'm saying. She was at Peace Jam with. So you search up, they show pictures of her at EYBL on the court in Augusta, Georgia with Trae Young. So understand, it doesn't depend.
So what that's got to do? So hold up. Just cause she dated Trae, hold on. You saying she dated Trae Young when she was young, okay? In the limelight.
And he dated her when he was young.
In the limelight.
Yeah.
So you're saying that reduces her chance of being.
No.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay. I was trying to see.
That provides understanding letting you understand her relationship with Trae Young wasn't, Trae a pro. He's calculated. Do you guys know how skinny Trae Young was in the 9th grade? How little he was in the 9th grade? You see what I'm saying?
No, nobody said nothing about calculating, but it's a great coincidence. Okay. But we give you Trae Young. CeeDee Lamb. He big man on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happened. Okay, CeeDee Lamb. I guess she probably. I haven't seen her good. I haven't. He broke up with her after he was drafted. Okay, thank you. So after he was drafted, they broke up. Okay, somebody close to their family just told me that. So that's
who are you talking about?
Trae Young. So
okay.
so what's so unique about it? I'm not saying anything, but she had one baller. This how people looking. Now she got the 12th pick in the draft. 17, whatever you got picked. 17 pick in the draft. So it's just a unique coincidence. Beautiful young girl. Hold up. With a great spirit. Because if that would have been a Memphis girl, he'd eject that phone out of her hand. It wouldn't have went so easy. She had a great spirit, left it alone, turned around with this sheepish grin and said, okay. I'm telling you, y'all can bash on her all you want to. She handled that thing with class, man. She handled that thing with class. Because that could have been embarrassing. And I don't know CeeDee Lamb. Some of y'all might know him. I've never met him before in my life. But it's unique. It's unique, though. What else you got?
Now, what happens now is all eyes will be on, especially on the CeeDee Lamb. The big fella, it's going to be less likely because he's a lineman. You know what I'm saying? But CeeDee Lamb, all eyes were already on him going to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yes.
But they really going to be on. It's like they got over and under on how long this young lady is going to last. So all eyes are on you. Especially, understand, coming from H-Town, now you are a Dallas Cowboy. So people are watching from everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And Dallas is one city that sooner or later it's hard to hide in. It's hard to hide, and it's hard for Dallas Cowboys to stay out of trouble or to stay out of troubling situations, put it like that. But Cowboys. Shout out to Lil Rick. I see Lil Rick on both platforms, first one to say shout out, give us a shout on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you're watching right now, guys, on either one of the platforms, this is the perfect time to share the show to your timelines and friends. We're going to be joined shortly by one of the top tailors. He's tailor of the pros, meaning that makes all of the garments, and you see the outfits. A lot of guys wasn't decked out like they normally was, out in their house. A lot of guys was just in comfort.
A tour was.
Leisure, casual clothes.
Tour was.
Tour
was. Yes. Yeah.
And the thing about it that hit the home run is a lot of people got a chance to see how the executives, how they live. And one guy who stuck out is the head coach of Arizona Cardinals. His pad was sitting in those Arizona, in those mountains, in those hills, and it was a great view as he sit there and in his living room.
Cliff
and
Kingsbury.
Watching Kingsbury. Yeah, used to be at Texas Tech. And that's another thing, because now it was kind of like a version of cribs mixed with the NFL draft. You got a chance to see the cribs. So now, once again, the NBA is watching. And that means now,
Jimmy, and let's talk about the opulence of these cribs. First of all, I'm looking at Cliff Kingsbury. Man, let me tell you something. I want to be Cliff Kingsbury. First of all, I need to find me a dumb administration at a college. Okay, give me a whole lot of money, and I go under 500 for my career. Okay, under 500 for my career. First, remember what I said? Number one, I want to find a not so smart administrative staff at a college. They're gonna give me this money, and then I'm going to. Jimmy, I'm going to go, less than 500, under 500. And guess what else I'm going to do, Jimmy? I'm going to take that $25 million buyout, okay? And of course, I can go and buy a house like that in the foothills of the Camelback Mountain in Scottsdale, Arizona. Jimmy, let me tell you something, Jimmy, about these coaches. What this telling me is, this same guy who got that job, and Eric Bieniemy and several other African-American coaches were a lot more qualified and better than he, and had a better record than he did. Jimmy, let me tell you something. It's a privilege that like I said, I wish I was Cliff Kingsbury, and our guest has popped up on the screen, and he might have some insight on this stuff. Jimmy, I'll introduce him today. Just be my time introduce. But Jimmy, it's a young man I've met. I don't know. It's got to be over 20-some years ago, maybe more. From Memphis, Tennessee. He is the clothier to the stars. He has dressed so many people. I can't name him. I promise you, he is my personal tailor. He also gifted the Chop Shop with customized a shirt, and we wore them on air. And Jimmy, when I tell you he has so much knowledge, you know how I be out on the recruiting trail, recruiting players. Guess what? He right there, out there trying. He used to be, a long time ago when I used to be out there, but he was out there recruiting too. Great friend of mine, a great man. Not just a guy that does my clothes, but a great man, a guy I happen to call a friend. Clarence Jones with CJ Custom Clothiers is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, sharp as usual. And what's up, CJ? Talk to me, man. DJ,
well,
let me give you some ground rules first.
Thank you, God, Jimmy,
okay,
for having me on the Chop Shop.
Okay, let me give you some ground rules. You're not on this show alone. You got thousands of people watching you all over the country, and a lot of them are in the boom boom. We in the Facebook feed, on the YouTube and the Facebook, watching and commenting. Okay, so they're a part of this broadcast too. They're our producers. They really help produce the show. You know, and a couple of them, I think they the executive producers. So you're just not talking, and you have been on this show before, and I wanted to bring you in because you have some unique intake input on the draft, and a lot of guys didn't wear your clothing this year. Usually, you get to watch them walk across the stage. Look at him shaking his head, and guess what? That's advertising for you. And so, CJ, on the bottom of our screen right now, CJ, is a ticker tape going across. It's to the people who chatted the most on our program on Friday. That's the people who have the most comments. Okay, you got Melvin Dews, Todd Holmes, Daryl Barnes, Herb Baker, and Michael Jordan. These the guys who, I mean, their input on both of these platforms. And Jimmy, Melvin Dews, that was the first time that a YouTuber has won it. The first time. He had 119, it's on the screen, he had 119 imprints on Friday. That's the first time I even put it behind there. So thank you so much, Mr. Dews, for being a part of Facebook and YouTube. And right now, before we bring Clarence on, this is a great time to share the show. And it's a great time for some of the people on Facebook to go over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube site. I'm telling you, subscribe to it because there's going to be some stuff that we need to, in case Facebook, you know, it kind of crazy sometimes. In case something happened, we'll always get your alerts with a YouTube. But Jimmy, now we back to CJ. What's going on, man? Talk to me.
Well, first of all, like I said before, I want to thank Robert and Jimmy for having me on the Chop Shop once again. And hopefully I can give some very good insight about the NFL draft, some of the minority agents that they showed a lot, talked a lot about this year, having 17 of the 32 players, of course, which once again, that's really nothing new because I remember when my friend Robert Hatter was an agent, it was nothing for him to have 4 or 5 guys in the first round. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing for the Postons, who was probably one of the only minority-owned companies to have multiple guys in the draft, NBA and NFL. A lot of these agents that we're talking about, 17 to 32 guys, they work for other people still. Even though they are minority and are able to get the players, they all still have a boss that they have to get a check wrote to. Not all of them are decision makers. There are decision makers by title, not by pen and paper.
Interesting. Jimmy,
And
I know
now,
Jimmy said.
now, what do you mean? Elaborate on that to help provide understanding about a lot of the agents have to have a boss.
All right.
Can I help
let me
you?
I'm going to start with now.
Can I hold on, CJ? Let me set the table, okay? Because I saw something that was very, very key, and I loved it. Let me tell you something. I had my chest stuck out because they some firm called Diverse. They talked about the 2020 draft. They said African American agents. They listed the number 2 overall pick, Chase Young, and the number 3 overall pick, Jeff Okudah. That's his name. Okudah. I'm sorry. Both of those guys were represented by this guy named Demarius Bilbo up under Clutch Sports. Okay? So, hey, Jimmy, I was saying yes. So guess what? Then I go to number 4 pick. Now, remember 2, 3, and number 4, Andre Thomas. He was represented by John Thornton with Rock Nation Sports. Okay? All right? Follow me. Let me give you some. Number 8th overall pick, Isaiah Simmons. Bad man. I like him. Is represented by David Mulligetta. For Athletes First. That's the name of the comp. And then the only woman is the 10th overall pick, Jarek Willis, I think Alabama. And I know I'm going to connect some dots with that Alabama, but represented by Nicole Lynn with Young Money Sports. So the reason I wanted to jump in there to give context to being proud that these guys, let me tell you something. I was proud because these agents that are representing these guys right now. But I have information that to know that, Nicole Lynn, I got information that the general public probably wouldn't have. And so that's why CJ, and CJ, I'm going to tell you, today, Jimmy, I was planning on just celebrating these accomplishments because I think they are, no matter what nobody say, I feel this is an accomplishment, because I've done it before. So of course I expected for it to be done again. I've been telling y'all that for years. Hold up. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. When people thought I was just on the show talking about black agents for myself, I'm a champion for these people right here. I am a champion for them. But I want people to understand this business just a little bit more, because that's my job, is to give y'all information that you didn't have. So now where were you going to go with that, CJ?
Well, what I was going to say, and you're absolutely correct, it was an outstanding accomplishment for the draft to have 17 black agents represent out of 32 first-round picks. Don't get me wrong. It was outstanding. I loved every bit of it. But because I am in the business, I understand it a lot more than other people, such as yourself, Bobby. Mm-hmm. You understand it. Mm-hmm. My thing is this. When you are a black agent, and you represent all these players, but then if you go a little bit deeper, a lot of these agents are really still working for a Caucasian company. Okay. When you telling me black,
okay, hold on. What's the difference? Give me a difference. I'm gonna let you say it, because when I say it, people get mad. What's the difference?
Big difference is this. Let me use you, Bobby, as an example, please.
Hey, man, when they don't call me Bobby on this show. They call me Robert.
Robert. I'm sorry, Robert Hatter. I apologize.
Man, he call you Bobby, man. Come on, let you messing him up. Come on.
Robert, you're right. I will slip. But what I was about to say is this. When Kevin, Carl, and Robert Hatter was together, that was a 100% minority-owned firm. Okay?
Right.
I look at CAA, they're not a minority-owned firm. They're a Caucasian-owned firm. Okay. You have a guy like Tory Dandy. Don't get me wrong. All these agents, I know all of them. They're all outstanding people. They work extremely hard to get these players. I'm not taking nothing away from them. But when you say black or minority agent got all these players, they all still work for somebody. Tory Dandy, great guy, outstanding person. He works for CAA. That's a Caucasian company. David Mutageta, who did $500,000 in contracts this past year, is with Athletes First. Don't get me wrong, Athletes First is a great company. David Mutageta is great. But Athletes First is owned by a Caucasian company. Rock Nation with Jay-Z. Don't get me wrong again. Jay-Z, best in the business. But once again, the company that's over him is a company called Live Nation. Everything I'm saying, you can go look it up. Same thing with Nicole. She's great, but she works for somebody else as well.
Keep on going, Nicole Lynn. Let me put something up here, Jimmy, on the screen. Look, this is Rock Nation. Okay, these are the key people in Rock Nation. Desiree Perez, CEO. Michael Yorkman, President. Lenny Santiago, Senior Vice President. The parent company is Live Nation, who gives all the concerts. Notice Live Nation is the people who gave all the Beyonce concerts, all the Jay-Z concerts, all the big, they matter of fact, they own the House of Blues and they own a lot of venues around the country. Live Nation is big. Look up under there, plain and simple, their division. Rock Nation Sports, Rock Nation's Latin America, Nation's Record, Nation's Entertainment, Rock Nation. So this stuff is but a lot of people just associate this thing with Jay-Z. You follow me? A lot of black families, if they don't know no better, they're associated with Jay-Z. So then, hold up, I look at Clutch. Take a look at this. Look at Clutch. Agency Clutch. Rich Paul, they partnered with United Talent Agency in Hollywood, a deal that adds a sports wing to the company. A deal that adds a sports ring to the company. So sometimes, listen to me, y'all. Do whatever you want to do, but always say on this Chop Shop, Jimmy and I then gave y'all information so you can make an informed decision. Those now you was talking about even Young Money Sports. It's got a certain sect behind it also. First of all, Universal is one of them, but they got some people behind them. So what I would say is, it's no big deal. You can go back, CJ. There's nothing really wrong with it. Okay, it's nothing to me personally. Everybody's not blessed to be a maverick that goes out and do it on their own. Everybody can't go and start a company by themselves and be a part of something like that, some people have to work for these people. But you said something yesterday that got me. You said, Robert, a lot of these guys wouldn't get if they didn't have that 25, 30 million behind them being able to make it happen. CJ?
That is correct, because a lot of them's got to have a company name behind them in order to get into some of these houses and get with some of these people, because they don't have the financial bagging. You know, you want to go into a person's house and say, okay, listen, you sign with us, we're going to be able to give you $250,000 to sign with us as a marketing guarantee. How many of those 17 of the 32 top picks agents can say, I got $250,000 I can put up on a player, with not having the companies behind them? I've only known, outside of maybe Brian Overstreet,
yes,
Rocky Arsenal,
mm-hmm.
Roosevelt Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are three people I know can put up $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of those people,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if they can put up $250,000 and sustain, especially when you got multiple picks. Now, David Mutagata, he can probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, David,
mm-hmm.
he can probably do it on his own without athletes first.
I got something for you.
He's a go-getter. He is a go-getter.
I got something for you. Somebody said David runs his own division in Dallas, right? Runs his own, but athletes, some people don't, some people just don't. Alpha, I don't know what you took in college, but I'm telling, we giving you business structure, okay? Athlete first, do me a favor before you go pick up them articles, go study athletes first, who he is a division up under. Notice you said he run a division, but he's still what? Up under. They give these vice presidents tags out like it's water right now. But they don't understand. They give, huh? What you say?
I said, I want to be a VP. Somebody ought to give me a VP title.
Jimmy, they give them out, Jimmy, if you come and have a top pick right now. I got a company right now. You can go and I'm going to say, look here, I'll hook him up. Jimmy is VP. I'm telling you, it's easy because when you under these umbrellas, I mean, there are advantages being under these umbrellas. So guess what? Listen to me. Y'all got to listen. There are advantages being under these umbrellas. I just wanted y'all to know. Because some of this information you would never get if guys like us wouldn't tell you. That's all. So you'll be so, oh, that's black. No. Athlete's foot is white on. Now, what else you got, CJ? Jimmy, you got something?
We got two questions for each one of you guys.
Okay.
The two questions with one to you, CJ, and one to you, Hatter.
Okay.
And that way, fair enough. So, First one is for CJ, and of course, Stacey Houston said, "What's up?" He's over in the DFW area. Sends a shout out to you, CJ, and he has a question for you. You mentioned about the minority firms. You sounded off and you quoted about a half dozen different guys. You said they had black agents. Now, what his question is, how many minority agencies that go up under that, fit that mold, are actually out there for these young black players they can sign with, that you know of? What are the notable ones? And of course,
I'm glad you asked that question. There's probably about 10 or 15 minority agents that are out there that can sign these guys. But let me tell you what the problem is. When these minority agents come into a house and be real honest with these parents, a lot of them don't want to hear that. I'm going to tell you what the parents want to hear. How much money you going to pay me to sign my kid? I can tell you this now, and I ain't telling you something I heard. I'm telling you 1,000% what I know, because I'm in the battle out there to get these players. When I go into a parent's house to talk to a parent about a young man, and I tell them about some of the minority agents that I think would be good for their son, first question is, well, that's great, but we're going to go with this agency because they're going to give us 1%. They're going to give us $250,000 as a marketing guarantee. That's just some money to give you. If you leave that company, you got to pay that money back. And then you got to pay all the other fees. That's why a lot of minority agents do not get an opportunity to represent more. There's more black young men out here that's going to the draft. If you look at it, it's almost 90% Caucasian agents have 90% of minority players. Just look at it. I mean, go ahead, Bobby.
No, you good. I was just going to add something to him. People.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to use one of the best that ever did it. That's Kevin and Carl and Robert Hatter. These guys went in there and battled these Caucasian companies. They battled to get these players. They were getting talked bad about because a lot of these young minority agents wanted to go with a black-owned agency. I mean, come on. If that had not still been the case, Carl would probably still be the number one agency out here.
I'm going to tell you what's so unique, and I never brought this up publicly, but Damon Jones was a tight end I'll never forget, tight end, went to school. He went to the Jaguars. Jimmy, I'll never forget, Jimmy. He went to another agent's meeting before he got to us. He's coming to us last, right? And when he got to me, he said, man, I couldn't wait to get on this plane to come meet y'all. I said, why? Because those other guys were talking so negative about y'all, I couldn't wait to get here to meet you. In other words, you know how them guys used to hate on the dude and the girl come and like the guy anyway? He said, they talked about me so much, he said he couldn't wait to get, dude, this man, before we got over with the presentation, he said, where I sign. You know, dude, we've had situations, and I don't know if I've said this on the show. He gonna laugh at me about this one. A guy came to Houston, right? I gotta tell you this story. And he came to Houston, and I showed him such a great time, y'all. You know, when I think that I got a chance to get you, I'm gonna put out the red carpet. Don't think don't think I don't know how to take care of the people who I feel in my corner. So guess what happened, Jimmy? Jimmy, he signed with me. I said, no, you want to wait on your mom and them? He said, no, man, I'm 21. I can sign. Jimmy signed, right? And left and went home. So you know how I am. Man, I'm coming to meet your mama and daddy. That was on a Saturday. I flew to, almost told us this town. I to St. Louis on Monday. I get there on Monday. I go knock on the door, Jimmy. Wasn't nobody answering the door. So I'm texting big fella. I said, man, come on. Nobody answered the door. So all of a sudden, the mama answered the door. She pleasant. Then the daddy came in. The daddy was about 6'7", 3-something. The biggest. I'm sitting there and he was not He was not happy with Robert Hatter at all. Listen to me now. The boy is the same size. So I'm in here. We talking and I'm talking. So guess what I do? I'm nervous I can't say that. I'm nervous, Jimmy. So I just get to talking about, giving my presentation, right? Daddy mouth poked out, but I got mama's interest. Mama said, Mama started looking. Daddy just about to tear my head off right here like, I need to knock this. So after I go through the presentation, Jimmy, the daddy looked. He done signed with you, ain't he? I said, yes, sir. Well, he got the cursing. I can't say this on the air. Calling the boy all kind of whatever. I mean, right there. I was not about to get in the middle of that stuff. The mama was telling me, I'm sorry. Guess what I did, Jimmy? I took the contract, the fake contract. I tore it up. I said, I'm not about to come in between. I didn't tear the actual contract up then. But I said, I was trying to be symbolic and said, man, if it's that bad, I'd rather not represent. I don't want to break no family up. Oh, this dude was a top 12 pick now. Okay? So I leave there, and it was just unbelievable. I have never been treated. I've done too much for people's kids and people's family for 30 years for me to be treated like that when I walked in that door. I shouldn't. That's what it was a lack of disrespect for the work that I've done. And Jimmy, I found out later that Dad had already made a deal himself with another company. That's why the hostility. You can chime in if you want to. I mean, so it's crazy.
But hey, Bobby, I know that situation.
Hold on, let's answer some questions. Hold up, let's answer some questions.
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, we got a few questions on the deck, and that way, because what'll happen is we'll end up going on a different subject, and people have questions for the subject for some of the topics that we get. So what we try to do, guys, because the questions are for both of you guys.
Okay.
And that way we can try to speed through with the replies, so we can get through these other questions. We can move to a different, advance the topic.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And we got there's so many. Now, one question going backwards. And either one of you guys can take this.
Okay.
CJ, we hadn't heard from you in a second. We'll get you this. And the question is from Rick, and he wants to know, you were talking about, you and Hatter, both of you guys were talking about the Rock Nation and sports agency up and the live in relation to their parent company, Live Nation. Mm-hmm. So he wants to know how is it that Jay-Z can afford his own, but he doesn't own his own agency.
They pay for the name. They pay for the name. You are basically, it's like earlier, I can make you a vice president of my company or the president of my company and just pay you for your name. But in all actuality, when real decisions have to be made, you can make decisions, but then you still have a higher power that has to agree on the decisions that you make. You still got to have that conference.
Okay. What else, Jimmy?
And another question for you, CJ. Martin asked, I don't know if this is an appropriate question, but what's the right time to contact an agent for your kid? What's the range?
Well,
Who asked that question? Martin.
Martin.
Okay. Go, you want to get that one?
I'm gonna let Bobby have. I'm gonna have Robert have.
No. First of all, I would
What's
say
the sport?
it determines which sport, and when he starts showing up on multiple.
Well, we're talking football right now.
Huh?
Football is the topic of conversation. Let's stay in football.
Jim, when he starts showing up on multiple draft boards and stuff like that, and he ain't really and truly. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. If he good enough, you ain't got to worry about contact. Somebody finna get in contact with you. I know that what you was gonna say. If he that good, if you calling me about Lil Johnny, it's great to say that Lil Johnny ain't that good. Okay? Nothing against him, but if you call, unless you're a great friend of mine calling me something, Robert, they're interviewing agents now. I want to get you in on the process. I at least want you to meet them. See, a lot of these guys, I don't care whether or not I get them or not. I just want them to have this information that I have to give to them, so it can take them. I don't want to see them, and I'm gonna make this a quick. I don't want to see them being a statistic, okay? And I'm gonna show. But you, CJ, do you have anything to add to that? That's when you.
I was gonna say this. The young man who proposed that question, most of the time, you want to start looking at agents probably when he's a sophomore in college, when his name starts to emerge, when he starts getting these honorable mentions, you want to start looking for agents at that point. But if you're that good, you ain't got to look. These college coaches who have agents, I won't say any colleges out there, they're going to put their agent in front of you and say, this is who you need to go with, and they're going to make sure you don't interview with anybody else, which I think is very wrong because a lot of these colleges do it.
Jimmy.
And that's in various sports.
Jimmy, watch this. Jimmy.
Now the next question, I see the next question, of course. I mean, it's a great question. You guys keep the questions coming. And
Good job, CJ.
Clarence Jones from CJ's Custom Clothier, and he's one of the tailors. That's his repertoire for a lot of the pro players, NFL, NBA, and we're going to talk about that shortly. Just hold tight, guys, on that. I see one of the questions is coming in for that. Okay. Shout out to David Patrick, DP over in California, head coach of Cal Riverside in the Chop Shop right now. Now, here's a question. Going back, and says that can we please get a list of some of these minority-owned agencies, right? So that we can research and inform the up-and-coming players of these such agencies. Also, they will be able to find if the agency has been successful over the years if they look them up. And so that's what some people that are watching are trying to do. So we don't have to, of course, like you mentioned earlier, there's about 15 or so that come to mind. Just not limited, but just out the blue. Just can you give us a north, south, east, and west part of the country, or a couple of them that you know of that people can go and look up that are Black-owned, examples of Black-owned or minority-owned agencies?
I'm going to give you one. Universal Sports. There's Robert. His name is Robert, and Kevin Connor. They represent Jamal Adams, who was the number 6 pick in the draft a couple of years ago. There's another guy named Safari Law with STL Sports. He represents Jalen Ferguson, who was the NCAA all-time sack leader with 45. I mean, I wish I could go on and on, but I'm gonna have to give me and Robert have to give you a.
Jimmy, I'm gonna help him out.
We can just
if you really, really want to know, not just for running your mouth on the Facebook feed. If you really, really want to know, send me your information. Send this to the Chop Shop HTX, chopshophtx@gmail.com, and I'll make sure you know. So if you're really, really serious about it, instead of just, because a lot of people just get on social media and want to just ask questions. If you're serious about it, Chop Shop, and you got the client, and got a client, I'll make sure you had the right information. What's the next question, Jimmy?
And next question we have is for CJ. CJ, tell us who your favorite player to dress. Your favorite NFL pro player your favorite one, because you make clothes. So your favorite one to dress.
You know what? That's a tough question because all of them are my favorite.
CJ.
Man,
Let me give you.
Hey, CJ, don't let him do you like that.
Hold on, CJ.
Don't let him mess your money
Let me
up,
give
man.
you.
Texas. They're in Texas.
I'm gonna give it.
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna tell you
We're
something.
in the midst of crawfish season. Don't crawfish on us now.
No, I'm finna tell you. I'm finna tell you.
Well, give us two. That'll make it fast.
I'm
Give
gonna
us
give you two NFL guys who are like my favorite guys to dress.
Okay.
One of them was Michael Proctors when he came out of LSU. I love Michael Proctors because he let me be creative in making his clothes. The second guy is Allen Robinson, all-pro wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. He is another one who allows me to be creative with his clothes. Now, I'm going to throw one more guy out here to everybody. He was a client I had in the very beginning, and his name is Patrick Peterson, all-pro cornerback for Arizona. He was a guy who allowed me to be very creative, and he had a lot of input.
How did you meet that guy?
Of circumstances, he decided to go with a Caucasian tailor other than the best who had NBA and NFL best dressed 3 times.
How did you meet that guy named Patrick Peterson? How did you meet him?
I met Patrick Peterson when he was at LSU. The year he was getting ready to come out. A dear friend of mine named Robert Hatter, who has countlessly given me clients, even if he didn't sign them, he still put them my way to do business with.
And you know what?
Which I am very thankful and grateful to this day.
Stop there. I want to help you right there. Y'all notice what he said. Even if I didn't sign the guy, I still wanted to help him. And I knew this guy would help him. This long time ago. Even if I didn't sign, because most agents, when you don't sign with them, I know what they tell y'all. And it's 2 words. And the last one is F them. So that was key. Give me another question, Jimmy.
Well, I have all type of questions out there.
What you think about Cam Newton's wardrobe? What you think about Cam Newton's wardrobe? Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay.
What you don't like? What do you not like about it?
I mean, I just don't like the way Cam Newton dresses. Nothing against Cam Newton. I mean, but I'm gonna tell you something. When you're $100 million man, you're supposed to look like Michael Jordan. When you walk in, everybody's supposed to know, like, man, he clean. I don't see that with Cam Newton. I see a lot of the hats, the clown type look. That's just not professional to me. Don't get me wrong. Everybody has their look and take on how they want to dress. That's fine. I have nothing against that. But if you ask me who dresses, Cam Newton isn't one of them.
What else they got, Jimmy? It was
Now,
so fast.
Is, what advice would you give guys? Would you give a prospect?
That's a good one.
Who's thinking about choosing an agent that has never represented someone before?
Tell them to call me and I'll tell them. Tell them to call me. If you got an agent, and see, this is where a lot of top prospects lose, minority agents lose, because a lot of parents want to go with somebody with this big name and not give the other guy an opportunity. A big name comes in, there's a smaller guy there that doesn't have the clientele list.
No, Clarence, I think you missed it. They said they don't have no clients at all.
I would still give them a chance. I would give them an opportunity.
Based on what? So
based on
I got a question.
To work hard for the player.
I got this for you. Let's say you was having heart surgery. Okay? All right? You was having heart surgery. and you had a chance to get this guy, this is his first time out doing a heart surgery. This is an intern. A residence. Are you rather have somebody who proven in the business? See, what you have to treat, and I understand what you were saying, give him a chance. But what you have to do, what I would help the people with, go look at his history. What he's done. Now he's become an agent. He don't have a client. What have he been doing? Okay. You always remember this. If y'all remember nothing else, to learn about a man, look at his history. Go back and look at what this man has done. Have he done something in business? Have he did something here? Have he did something in this industry? What have he done? Because if he just a guy that ain't never done nothing and then took a license and he finna represent my son, and especially in the NFL, where it means not for long, he might not give a one deal. He got to know what the hell he doing. Just because you took a test don't mean you know what you're doing.
Right, I agree with you, Bobby. Robert, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I was about to say that.
Okay.
To find out what has he done prior to this situation to get your son so you can represent him. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
He asked the question, how do you get experience? Go work for somebody else. That's what these other guys doing.
That's what all of them have done.
Go
all
learn the business from somebody else. Yes, go learn the business. And guess what? See, we were blessed that all of us we were businessmen. We were all businessmen. Kevin, matter of fact, one of his clients was Alfred Taubman. Look that name up. Alfred Taubman. At one point was one of the richest Jewish guys in the world. But he let a black dude from Saginaw, Michigan, represent him and take care of his business affairs. So when I look, hold up, listen to me. When I first met Kevin and I found out about Taubman and looked and saw what he was doing there, guess what I said? If this man represents a billionaire, I know he can handle these little millions that this guy got to deal with. Y'all got to hear me on this one. If a guy is used to dealing with billionaires and handling their money, a black guy handling a Jewish man's money or Jewish man's business affairs, I would give him a shot. That's why I said, look at the history. All cases are different. Some guys, and that's all I'm telling you, because just because somebody went and took this test, I'm going to tell y'all something. And I told y'all this last week, Jimmy. This is the quickest business to get into and the quickest to get right back out. I know he's seen it. But keep going, Jimmy. What else you got?
Now, another question is, how many agents should one interview, right, before making a decision? Is there a range or a threshold you should at least meet? I mean, how many should you interview at least? And what are a couple of key questions that every parent or prospect must ask?
Robert, I'll let you out this one.
What you want? How would I know how many people? I'm on this side of the law. You've been on that side. Right. So I don't know how many people you bring in. I don't know. I've done 10 agent processes myself, meetings and all. I always tell a parent you want to get 5 to 6 of the best agents that you're talking to, then you cut it down to 3, and then you have a second interview, and then you break it down to the 1. And the key things you want to look for is how many players are they trying to represent at the same position that your son plays. You don't really want to get with an agent who's representing multiple cornerbacks, multiple wide receivers. Why not?
Because guess what?
Why not?
For you.
Why wouldn't you?
Reason being is depending on the agent, you may not be able to leverage one over the other. and it makes it difficult because then you have to make a decision.
But
Unless you
hey,
know exactly what you're doing to handle
hey,
multiple players with the same position.
hey, me being an agent and I disagree with you, but it's okay. That means I got leverage. If I got Patrick Peterson and I got another bad corner, I control the market. See, that's how
But
a
you're
leverage
saying
negotiating think. But me convincing to a parent because they thinking the way you thinking and other agents gonna think, but I control the market. If I represent LeBron James and Anthony Davis and all of these top, I control the market.
well, they're at different positions. Those are different positions.
No. But okay, but if I all the cornerbacks, if I had all the D.D. Lambs and Jerry Jeudy and all them, I control the market. But in the NBA, they done made the thing so murky now. You can't do the stuff like we used to do. But you can control the market. That's how I feel. Cause guess what? Hey, hold up. Especially when free agency goes around.
Well, that's when free agency. I'm talking about prior to the draft, when a parent is trying to select an agent.
But guess what though, CJ? All I'm telling you is, how does that hurt the other guy? I want both of them to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I wish I represented every wide receiver in this draft this year. It's possible.
Well, you should have called me.
Huh?
Should have called me. I could have helped you.
Yeah. hey.
Go ahead. Next question, Jimmy.
Yeah, next question, Jim.
Yeah, and of course, we have questions all over.
I like
he
that.
says that, does CJ advise a one-stop shop agent or an agent, financial advisor, etc.?
I answer that one.
No, I don't.
Hell no.
No, I don't. I do not go out and advocate for just one agent. What I've tried to do with parents when I'm in
CJ, hold up. That ain't what he's talking about. You missed the question.
I'm sorry.
He asked what an agent should do everything. Do your deal, do your finances and all of that. Do your financial advice. That's what he asked.
No.
I'm
sorry. No, you shouldn't. It should be separate.
That's an inherent conflict. Okay, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it like this. I'm gonna put it to you plain. Got a couple. Let's say that Jimmy is the financial planner. He my partner. I'm the agent. Jimmy go put some of your money in Coca-Cola. Okay? Coca-Cola tanks. Okay? Coca-Cola just flatten out. Guess what? I'm gonna have the propensity to protect Jimmy because he's my partner, not my client. So it's gonna be a conflict. That's why I call it an inherent conflict. That's just like putting CJ, he's single, put CJ in a room with Beyonce and she butt naked and telling him not to touch her. Just leave her, don't touch her. Just sit here and watch her. Don't sit there and touch her. It's too much temptation. No, don't ever let nobody. Because guess what they come and tell you? Look, you just play sports. Jimmy, this is what they tell you. You don't have to worry about nothing. We got everything covered. All you do is worry about the field, and we got this. We'll sign your checks for you. We'll pay your bills for you. Never let nobody sign your check for you. Ever. Players. Ever.
Agree.
Mama either. But keep going.
Yeah. Now, the next question is, why does Scott Boras and the Drew Rosenthal's continue to land big name players? Also, why do other athletes continue to follow the others?
You got to answer that because I wish I could solve that.
All right, Drew Rosenhaus. I don't understand to this day why a lot of that he's still able to get athletes. He has made athletes lose a lot of money in a casino down in Alabama where these guys could never get their money back. But because he's Drew Rosenhaus and he has represented some very big name players, and not only that, when you drop that bag, I hate to say it, but when when you pay players or you cut the deals on their contracts where they're saving money and you're giving them a stifling or a marketing guarantee, you kind of able to get a player.
And y'all got to realize, man, you know, I saw this stuff firsthand. I happen to be blessed to be at Miami, you know, Andre Johnson, Ed Reed, Brian McKinney, down there, you know, talking to him. And I was with Ed and Brian McKinney. We go to the Cadillac dealership. Guess what? Everybody in the Cadillac dealership. Hey, man, you guys, they don't know who I am. Hey, guys, you should go with Drew. You should go everywhere we went. Jimmy went to the mall. So Drew got soldiers in the street. Drew's people in the street, they people in the street like him. You know what I'm saying? And these players, and you said about following Jimmy. Why do people follow people? But you know, Jimmy. I wish I can explain how these guys follow. Because they sure didn't follow my clients that much. I wish they followed my client. Only one did. I got Ty Law first. Ty went back to Michigan and got Tim Piaka-Patuka. Tim went back and got Charles Woodson. All of them getting back got Charles Woodson. So that helped. But let me tell you something. That's hard when you're an African-American owned guy. Sometimes it just don't work like that. They rather work a little bit harder for somebody else. So I just wanted to add that.
Now I got a couple more questions, and you guys tuning in, make sure you share the show right now if you're on the YouTube or the Facebook feed. Boomer Room, great conversation right now. We're talking about, we're fielding your questions about prospects and about agents, minority agencies, and the whole process of how this stuff works in a nutshell, to kind of give you guys a better understanding moving forward. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, can you, in regard, you mentioned the bag a while ago. You got to a certain point, you was right. You know what, the hell with the bag. You just came out with it, CJ. And now in the bag, do you mind briefly explaining to viewers about, listen, the bag, the process? Because does the bag, how do I put this question? If you choose to go to another, if you take the bag, and let's say this bag has $1 in it, you take this $1 and you decide to later on go to another agency, would you have to pay that dollar back? Who has to pay it back? And if you stay with the same agent whom you took the $1 from, do you have to pay that $1 back? Will that $1 be taken out of your earnings?
No. Let me explain what I mean by a bag and give it a little bit of relationship to it. What I mean is this: when I'm going to use a minority prospect, a lot of agents go into these homes assessing a situation. First of all, when they're assessing a situation, they look around and see what's going on. What a lot of, and I'm going to say this, Caucasian agents, not just Caucasian, but some minority, they will come in a home and say, a parent, house looks pretty poor. They'll say, well, you know what? Let me give you, I'm just going to use this number as a marketing guarantee. We're going to give you $250,000 if your son signs with us as a marketing guarantee. A lot of parents will bypass a very good agent who could be great for them for that bag of money, because it helps assess the situation as of a now, not a later, a now. And what happens is a lot of guys who think they're going to get a player loses them based on that assumption. It's hard to kind of explain it because we're in such limited time, but I'm just trying to give you just an example how it goes.
Yeah.
And you asked me a question earlier, how are the Drew Rosenhausers and all of them are able to do some of these things.
You know what's so unique? And somebody texted me and said, you just make suits. How would you be knowing all this? But let me tell you something. He's on the side that he's on a different side than I am. He can hear what the parents actually saying about me and what he's saying about the other guy. He have more privy. Let me explain that. He have more information sometimes than I have, because he come back and give me information that can help me. But I'm finna piggyback on you and this money. Let me tell y'all something, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back and let me get focused, because I always got to get everybody back focused, okay? It's not in this industry, y'all. To me, what's up, Herb? It's not about being brought or bought as these people. It's rather about being paid. Okay? You want to get paid. You don't want to be bought. You don't want to be bought. That's a prostitute versus John relationship. I give you some money, you give me some honey. So you want to, in this industry, like Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen signed that long-term deal. It was about him getting paid. But nobody said, well, Scottie, look here, man. In your 4th year, put an option clause in that year, because when we look down the road, Michael Jordan is bringing the ratings up. I'm giving y'all a lesson. Bringing the ratings up for the whole NBA. Our TV package in a few years going to be bigger. We're going to get a bigger piece of the pie. Nobody explained that to him, man. You got to understand, man. It's about 3 decades ago, man. I'm gonna give y'all a story. I'm gonna give you some history. These sports agents called Walters and Bloom. Look them up. They paid off approximately 42 athletes, 21 of which were first-round draft choices. Okay? The actions of Walters and Bloom and many other agents who try to buy athletes are based upon the fact that they believe athletes are young and impressionable. Just like what you say, assess the situation. And they do not have the pride and the dignity to turn down money under the table. It's important to note to all the athletes in the Walters and Bloom case, all the athletes were black. Every last one of the athletes were black. And if the key word I would just tell y'all, it's not about being bought. It's about getting paid. You want to get paid. You want to get paid. That's important. Go on, TCJ.
Let me answer one question for that gentleman or whoever proposed that question. I've made clothes for over 1,000 people in 28 different states. I've made clothes for 40 athletic directors, 40 college coaches. I've made clothes for over 150 NBA, NFL, some of the top comedians in the country. I have done 10 agent processes, all football. So that's what makes me qualified to know what's actually going on. Parents call me to ask me my advice on agents, financial guys, etc. I even have my clients call me about who should they get to real estate for their home furniture. That's what makes me so qualified and how I actually know. I'm not telling anybody no lies. And not only that, people call me with tons of information. That's why I always know what's always going on out here. I don't look for it, but because of the relationships I have, which I have built over 25, 26 years in this business, I can help any parent with any situation.
That's good.
Mentally, physically, and financially.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's okay. They just didn't know.
Okay, so
I know, I'm just explaining it. No problem. No hard feelings.
Next.
But if you don't know who I am, look me up. CJ Custom Clothiers. and it'll tell you.
Hey,
I make
hold
clothes
on.
for everybody.
You've been hanging out with somebody I know. I ain't gonna tell you his name, but his name starts with Jim Hicks. But what up, Jim?
Say it with your chest, CJ. That's what you do. Say it with your
Don't play with it.
There you go.
What's
Talk
your
your
next?
shit.
What you got, Jim?
Talk your shit, CJ. Now, I have another question. And that is from over in Mississippi. Theo asked, back to the parents. If y'all know, talking to the parents now, if y'all know how crooked some agents are anyway, business-wise, why not sign a contract and get some side money instead of just signing the same contract and get none? Adults make adult decisions, right? So take it and run with it.
I missed that one, but CJ. I missed it. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was doing something else.
In other words, if you know, I'll paraphrase. If you know some agents are already gonna get dirty, right? Then why not? If you're gonna sign a contract anyway, why not sign the contract and get some side money along with it?
What you
If
mean
you
by
gonna sign-
dirty?
I'm not-
Hold up. What you mean dirty, Jimmy? Dirty? What's dirty? What's dirty?
Well, I'll use the quote unquote. I just paraphrase it. Quote unquote. It said, "If y'all know how crooked some agents are anyway." That's the quote
Ain't
unquote.
nobody said we did not say on this show
No,
not
listen,
one time that an agent
once
was
again,
crooked.
Alan.
No,
Sit this
Jimmy,
one out.
Jimmy,
You missed
Jimmy.
the whole question.
Okay.
You missed the whole question.
But you said
The
dirty.
question. Once again, that question, that first part is a statement that's directed to a parent of a prospect, not on your side of the fence. The second part is a question for your side of the fence. So the first part has nothing. He's talking to the boom boom room. Parents, if you know some agents are dirty or crooked, that's his first statement. That's not a question. That's his opinion.
Excuse me, sir. Can't I comment? Can I comment on his statement?
No, you missed the part.
Can I comment on his statement?
Yeah, but I mean, we ain't worried about the statement. We're about the question more important, not the statement. The question is the important part. He's asking.
Okay.
I think the statement was ignorant. Because nobody said, who said somebody was dirty? Where did he get that information from? We didn't say that. For him, Jimmy, he been listening. Hold up. He been sitting here listening to this show. And if that's what he got out of this show, I'm trying to teach him. I ain't worried about you. You go. I'm trying to teach him.
Alan, listen. That statement was if you are one of those parents, if that shoe fit, then wear it. If you're one of those parents that believe that everybody's crooked out there, then now the question is, if you qualify for that part of that statement, then if you're gonna sign a contract, then why not take some money on the table?
I don't want to answer that. I think I plead the fifth. I think that's.
But
I'm glad I didn't see it. Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is this: we're not gonna say anybody's crooked or agents are crooked or anything. All I'm saying is this: it's nothing wrong with a parent taking money from an agent if that's their sole desire. I'm not telling a prospect's parents not to take money. What I'm saying is this: when you get down agents and you're going through the process, what happens is that some agents come in your home, assess a situation, and what they'll do is, well, hey, what is it going to take to get your son? A parent might say, well, it's going to cost $100,000 to get it. Just sign it. Well, there it is. You sign my son, but then you do a horrible job on his contract. That kid loses because you left money on the table because you took some money. Sometimes it's not always good to just say, let me get some money now and I'm going to ruin the kid's contract later. Just be patient. A lot of parents are not patient.
They don't have no money, CJ. CJ, they don't have no money. What about the parents who don't have any money?
Looking for instant gratification right now. I understand it. No problem. I understand.
So guess what, CJ? I'm gonna answer this question. Ask this question. I don't know if Theo Huxtable is the one who answered the last one. That's who was. Then he straightened it out. Because I thank you, Theo, for being smart. He said, if they're all saying the same thing, why not take the side money? Simple as that. That's more of a better question. I just didn't understand the other. I'm glad I didn't see it, but Jimmy, he readdressed his question. He said, if they're all saying the same things, then why not take the side money? That makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot more sense than the other question. That's all. That's all I was trying to make. Because Jimmy,
So now on that note, does anybody care to answer his question? Why not take it?
If they all, he just said take whatever if you want to. I just told you don't be brought. Get paid. So you might want to be brought. Because guess what? Guess what? If I can buy you right now, okay? If I can buy you and know what buttons to push when I buy you, I can definitely be smart enough to go sell you too. Now, how about that? Thank you.
I hope we answered this question.
How about that? Yeah, he said he
definitely got it.
He said he put. That's what I didn't understand what was talking about. So, but thank you, Theo, man. All I'm trying to do is ask. I'm trying to educate here. Some people try to confuse you. I'm trying to. I mean, if you think about it, you ain't going to Grant Hill House and saying that, but everybody's not like Grant Hill. You follow me? So we understand. Let me tell y'all something. Not one time if I came on this show and said, don't take that money. Never, ever, ever. Guess what I will advise you Herb Baker, is don't let that be the reason you make your decision.
Exactly.
That's all.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Because I've seen the guy. See, I got like Jimmy talking about he got 19 years in this. I got 30 years in this. I've seen the contracts. I've seen, the players who did it this way and where they're at now, and the players who did it that way and where they at now. He's seen it too. I got history on my side. I've studied the guys who did it a certain way and guys who got, and guess what? There are some outliers to every situation. But the people that understand this thing is about getting paid and not about being bought. That's the key. Because if I can buy you, I can sell you. And I know that went over everybody's head. I can figure out a way. If I bought you, if I bought you, I can figure out a way to get my money back. How about that, CJ? If I done bought you, I can figure out a way. If I'm smart enough to see that you can be bought, I'm smart enough to see it's something you're not going to see, and I can get that money back. I'm telling you.
Let's go. Next question.
You mentioned about approximately 40 different colleges that you have colleges and or college coaches on their staff. Those particular 40 or some odd staffs you have obtained as clients over the years. In football, in recent years, didn't the NCAA change or modify their rules, which allows certain programs to buy a suit or a tie for the players?
Yes, but it's only a certain amount. Yes, they have done that, but I don't do that.
Say that again. I missed it again, Jimmy. I'm trying to watch these texts because I've been talking so much.
The NCAA in recent years has allowed the schools to go out and buy suits for the players. Mm-hmm. I mean, most of the guys are buying suits at stores. I mean, you do have some colleges that use tailors, but they only have a limited budget. I mean, they're only allowed $600 or $650 to use per suit per player. That's not enough money for a custom-made suit. Not at all.
So those colleges normally just go and use that budget and apply it at a store and get a bulk rate at the store.
There you go. Or they'll find somebody who may make a custom suit for $400 just to get the bulk of the business.
Jimmy, I got another one. I'm going to answer this one quick. Melvin Dude says, should a player get someone else to look over the agent's contract for them? If so, who? If that's the case, if you got to get somebody to look over that, your agent's contract, you don't need him. I'm just gonna look at that right now. If you got to get some, because guess what? The agent contract comes from the Players Association that he makes with you. The team, I'm gonna make it quick, Melvin. That it behooves a player, an agent, to get you as much money as he can. Because guess what? He get a percentage of that. So the agent is on your side. That's why it's good pick somebody you trust, because y'all working hand to hand. Y'all supposed to be a guy that you understand, because he never, listen, people who don't know no better, an agent should never handle your money. Never touch your money, so it's no way. There's no way he can hurt you. But I think you got back to what I was saying about, if I can buy you, I'm going to figure out a way to get my money back. Don't you ever think about that. I'm going to get my money back. But no, if you don't trust him, don't mess with him. But I had two more questions, Jimmy, that I wanted to ask, one from Stacey and one from Sonia. Since Sonia is the woman, I'm going to go first for her. She said maybe somebody needs to start holding seminars to educate these black parents and their star athletes. They won't come to it. They won't. I'm just telling you. It was so ironic, Stacey.
Why? Give it a why.
Because they know, these parents think they know it all, Sonia.
Money.
Sonia, these parents don't want to do right. Bless their little heart. You know, I love them. You got to understand, I was a parent. I still am a parent. But they don't want to do right, Sonya. So you'll be wasting your time. So, Sonya, hold up. Every year, Sonya, the Players Association teach guys what not to do in the rookie orientation. Soon as some guys was doing what they told them to do on their weekend. What they told them not to do on their weekend. Don't have no girls in your room. Don't do this. Don't smoke some weed. So let me tell you where parents gonna get this from, Sonya. You need to get and send every parent you know this link to the Chop Shop. Okay? And guess what? You're gonna find out. We just sit there and laid it out plain. This is a guy on the other side. Guess what? It was one time he was interviewing. Hold up, we was interviewing for a client, and he was their advisor. So I know I'm gonna win that one on. You know what I'm saying? So he been on that side before, Sonya. So do me a favor. If you want all parents to get this, you have it, and you got a reference. You can go and say, I'm gonna send this link. Girl, you need to put Jimmy, this Jimmy favorite thing. Put your finger and pull the cursor all over the what minute mark is this? The 138 mark. And Sonya, that's how we get the word out. Instead of doing a seminar, let them do some work. Let them come watch the Chop Shop. Jimmy, and then Stacey, I'll let you answer this one, Clint, CJ, because Stacey asked the question. I had to take a picture with my phone. What if the agents, hold up, this is a good one. What if the agents that made the final three, CJ, we both answered, all equally qualified to represent the player? How do you suggest the parent make the decision to go with whom? Great question.
That's a real good question. Well, that goes back to, you have to track the history of each individual agent and see what they've done in the past. because not all of them are going to be equal when it comes to the past. It may just be for the present future.
Say that again.
That's a good one.
I said, when you got three agents all the same, they all equally the same. What you should do is go back and look at the history of each individual agent and see what they have done in the past, not in the present.
And I would say, if all of them equal, that means I've looked at that. I'm gonna go a little step. I'm gonna be the other parent. You that parent. I've already seen all of them in my life. Guess who I'm gonna go with? So that means all of them are competent. So guess what I'm gonna look for next, parents? Write this word down. Comfort. Who you're more comfortable with. If all of them are competent, every last one of them, because that's two things that I always look for in a situation. Are you confident? Are you competent? Could you fix? Are you good enough to fix my wash and dry? Are you good enough to fix my car? Are you good enough to fix things in my house? First of all, I got all three of y'all. I done found out all three of y'all can do it. Now, which one of y'all I'm comfortable enough with leaving my car with you or letting in my house? That's what I would think about it. And Sonya, back again. We don't the symposium, Jimmy. What they said about a symposium, Jimmy? What's
the question that Greg has is with the going broke rate. That's kind of a variation of what you guys spoke on a while ago, but it's going a little deeper. The going broke rate, the economic situation, so high with a lot of these professional athletes. Should earlier symposiums be implemented, right? Regarding financial advisors, agents, financial checks, the balance system, etc. If so, how early?
I mean, CJ, you want to go there? I mean, as early as you can teach your kid about money. Jimmy, you'd even gave them just little practical stuff about. Y'all got to understand, man. And y'all, everybody being all noble right now. But I've had the advantage of seeing a kid that's dirt poor, 6 months, that used to try to come drive my car, to being able to buy any car he wants to in the world. Got that power. He don't have to look at the balance on his, when he go to the ATM car. He just withdraw money out. 20-some years old, okay? So I tell these guys to follow the examples of the guys that own your team. They're billionaires. They have teams around them. They have qualified team of people around them. Every last one of them. Timothy Fertitta, Michael Jordan, all of them, Bill Gates, everybody, they got. So you have to know you're 22 years old, know you're young. You just got to surround yourself as much as possible around people who have done this stuff. See, most of the white guys, they know their dad or mom know the banker, the investment banker or something. But Jimmy, what's your favorite word? Lil Pookie might not have a relationship with a banker. Yeah, you might have shopped that today, brother. You just raised up. Lil Pookie might not have that relationship with him. So that's why, Jimmy, let me give you those numbers again in the NFL. In the NFL, okay, let's say 78% of the players, to people who wasn't on the feed the other day, 78% of all the NFL players after 2 years removed from their sport, and these numbers are getting a little bit better, I heard. They're bankrupt, unemployed, divorced, and all that kind of stuff, right? Guess what? It's 92% of the black guys. So every time you look on the TV, the CeeDee Lambs and see, all we got to do do your research. And if you know the guy who got drafted 5 years ago, then go, if you're able to talk to him, see where he is now, and tell him, find out some of the guys who came out in his class 5 years ago and see how they're doing now. See, that's how they get these numbers. So a symposium, yes. Anytime you can teach somebody about, but you have to be open, CJ, and you have to really be open, because some guys just go in there, man, I got to go to another meeting about. Guys don't like to hear about money, Sonya. They don't like to hear about it. When you come over there, hold up, I have the quarterly report. Man, can we do something else, man? You just look over it for me. This ain't my money. This your money, man. So of course symposiums will work. But let me tell you what I found out. Most of these guys know better. It's their money though. Chuck McGowan, Sonya Billingsley. It's their money. So I can tell them what to do all I want to. But guess what, Kerry Holmes? That's their money. I can't stop him, Jimmy Hicks, from going to spend $30,000 in the strip club. Jimmy, Dale Carter has done it right in front of me. He was one of the guys in the article broke. He said, man, I want to spend all my money because I don't want nobody to be fighting over it when I leave. But that's all. I just wanted to share that with y'all. Symposium is nice, but the earlier you can get the kid, and all you got to get him, it ain't no big thing. Just get them, just watch their spending habits. You hear me? You see, I had to lower my voice because I want, just watch, just hold on, man. You can buy one BMW, Mike Tyson, but why go buy 7 at a time? You follow me? You can buy one jet, Floyd Mayweather, but why buy 2 jets? Air Mayweather 1, Air Mayweather 2. You can't fly on but one at a time. You know, so that's all. I mean, Jimmy, I'm gonna put the time up there. What else you got, Jimmy? I mean, I love this conversation today.
Shout out to Darshell up in Oklahoma who checked us, who just tuned in. Just took a quick lunch break to come and check out the Boom Boom Room. Shout out to you, Darshell. You know we miss you, we love you every time you come up in there. And now I'm trying to. We got a couple other questions.
Okay. And
Melvin says, well, first of all, he says two types of men that you trust. The man that you cook. The man that cook your food, and the man that make your suits. That's a shout out to CJ.
Because I'm on the dollar with
it. Now, CJ, what do you mentioned earlier about the suits, and I asked you a question about the colleges and stuff. What do your suits start at? Because you said it's $600 ain't enough. You can't for you.
No, my suits start about $1,350 and up, depending on the fabric of the suit. Shirts are about $175 and up, depending on the fabric of the shirt.
Now, how does a person give us some tips about people out there that may be interested in going and getting a tailor-made suit? What are some of the first things that you go and you look into? What are some that are important for the consumer out there who's?
You want to look at the fabrics first. That's most important. You want to make sure you get good fabrics for your suits. You want to make sure you get good fabrics for your shirts. And when you get a suit made, you got to make sure it's draped right on you. Because a lot of times guys put suits on you and tell you it looks good. You walk out the door and it looks bad. I've seen it happen.
Now, what do you mean? You saying, first of all, you say good fabric. How can they tell the good fabric from the not good fabric?
Well, that depends on who you're going to get it from. I mean, most tailors are supposed to educate you on fabric, not just put you on anything just to get your money, which a lot of them do. I mean, you want to know about the Super 150s, the 160. You want to know about the Sea Island cotton, the Egyptian cotton, Italian cotton fabrics. Those are good fabrics.
Okay. And so now the fabric and the way that the suit drape up off of you. Now, Now that person that's normally that's trying to sell you the suit, of course, they're probably going to tell you everything they put on you. Oh, I like that. That's good. Kind of like you ever been to a restaurant and I swear to you, look at the menu. You say, I'm thinking about either this or this, and that waiter or waitress is going to say, oh, that's my favorite. Oh, I love that.
Not only that, they'll tell you everything on the menu's good.
Yeah. So
but I don't do that. I don't do that. I've been in this business 26 years. One thing I do is I educate anybody who gets a suit from me. I educate them on the fabric, why it costs this much, everything. And that's one of the number one things I've always done. I don't just put clothes on people just to say, hey, that looks good. I'm going to tell you the truth, because you'll never walk in somewhere and I make you a suit and you don't get 10 compliments. Is that not right, Robert Hatter? Is that not right, Jimmy? Have y'all not walked in places and folks say how good you look?
I got to give it to you, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. But these are questions that I'm presenting, that I'm passing on, that was text to me. Now, another question is, somebody's asking, do you make triple pleated slacks for big men?
That's easy. Of course I do.
Okay. I mean,
because you're a big guy, you can wear, I'm going to tell you something. Big guys can wear plain front pants. They can wear, they just got to be made right around that thigh. That's the reason why he wants triple pleated pants, because he's got big thighs.
Okay. I mean, these are now. Tremaine asked, "Is any fabric from Africa?"
No, most of my fabric is from Italy, England, New York, Chicago. I buy nothing but the best fabric.
So no China.
No, I don't get any fabric from China. No, not saying the fabric is bad over there, because they do make some really nice, and they do have some really good high end. But when I buy fabric, it's usually Italy, England, places like that.
Now another good question that somebody just asked on the Boom Room: who, based on watching The Last Dance, and a lot of people that did not, a lot of people, you'd be surprised. I mean, of course, did not actually, were younger and didn't see Michael Jordan in off the court interactions. Well, who was Michael Jordan's tailor?
Birdie's. There was a place called Birdie's in Chicago. They made Michael Jordan clothes, and then they were all their shirts.
Hold on 1 second, CJ. We're experiencing some audio turbulence real quick.
Yeah, he'll get back in. CJ, can you say something, CJ?
Yeah, we're still having
audio. Yeah.
And so now that was a good question.
Yeah, Birdies. I remember them. He talked about it on the show a little bit, Jimmy.
Yeah, and that's a good question, because a lot of people noticed that, because that was one of the things that for Michael Jordan, because back in those days, remember especially when the 90s turned in the 90s when they won those championships, and before he resigned, Michael Jordan was wearing those. He was dapper every game. It was almost to the point where people were wanting to see what he was going to wear, how he was going to come walking into the stadium each night. And then, because remember now, as Michael Jordan was doing this, then you had an Allen Iverson coming into the league. And Allen Iverson came into the league, and that was during that Mitchell and Ness, and there was a culture shift far as wearing throwbacks and cornrows, and that was a lot of the thing. So take us back that time, and of course the suits prevailed. How was that like back then, CJ, when you were in those early 90s?
Well, I mean, like I said, you had Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. I mean, you even had Penny Hardaway. You had a lot of these guys who liked to dress well. As Allen Iverson got in the league, it became okay to wear cornrows, the Dookie chain. That's when you started seeing these young men wearing their jeans, pants sagging, which, you got to understand where that comes from. That comes from people in prison and inviting you to come see them. You see what I'm saying? See, people don't understand. You don't wear your pants sag. You know what I'm saying? But that became the trend. So it just became more and more. And then you start seeing guys not wearing suits as much as you did then as now. Because a lot of NBA guys don't wear a lot of suits. But you see more NFL guys wearing suits.
I'm going to tell you what's so unique about what you said, right? I remember talking to Madison Avenue and being in the marketing business and entertainment business. Michael Jordan, if you ever noticed, when he get dressed and put on a suit before his press conference afterwards, he always wanted to wear a suit because he said everybody around the world would know I'm a businessman. I'm Madison Avenue fell in love with him and Magic Johnson because that's why I always had Penny in suits when he did his interviews. It's no coincidence that he was a top guy in marketing because Chris Webber and all them guys wanted to show up with their hat turned like this. So it's that you might not understand it, but those things matter to the people because this your image. They selling your image. Michael Jordan always looked pristine. Every time he'll tell, man, let me get dressed first. And because this is going to go all over America. So the young player, that's why I love about the Dak. That's one thing I love about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is dressed to the CJ, he seemed like you dress him, but I know it's somebody else. But
I did. I wish I did. I'm the wrong color.
I know. Okay, you're right. Okay.
Now,
I'll leave that alone.
we have another question for you.
Jimmy don't like that.
Do you make women's suits? Oh,
yes, I do. I make women pantsuits, skirt suits. I make all that. Blouses. I love women that give me pictures of suits they like, because I usually like to take pictures from women of the suits that they like.
And we have about two more questions for you. And somebody asked about what's your take on these skinny suits, the tight suits that.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's the style now. The tight fitted European look, I make them all day long.
And I had another question right now, and I'm trying to find it. But anyway, now we get ready to land the plane. How can they get in touch with those out there that are interested, then following up with you and may have some more questions or may want to extend some of the conversations of something that you mentioned earlier? How can they get in touch with you?
Easy. My numbers, they can reach me at 901-378-8273. They can go to my website, which is CJ Custom Clothiers, CLOTHIERS.com. They can follow me on Instagram at Clarence_2525. And I love people to call me and ask questions. If a parent has a question about agents, financial people, feel free to call me. I don't charge any. I travel to everyone who wants to get clothes made for me, and I deliver. So you don't have to necessarily be a millionaire to get clothes from me.
Right, man.
I treat everybody the same.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. Hey, CJ, lots of nuggets that you guys dropped today in regards to the conversation about everything from clothes to representation to being a prospect and everything, and understanding a lot more on that side of the business. Thanks so much for you for stopping by the Chop Shop and chopping it up with us. Any last thoughts you got?
Hold up, see.
Yes, I do.
Oh, go, see. Go. Do your thing.
I want everybody to understand that I wasn't out here bashing all the Black successful agents for the draft. I am very happy for every last one of them. I just wanted to educate everyone that just because they're a black agent that they're not working for somebody else. That's first of all. Second of all, I'd like to thank Jimmy and Robert for having me on the Chop Shop once again. I hate we couldn't go another hour because we have more to talk about. Much more to talk about.
Hey.
But I'm happy for all my guys who were first-round picks, from Henry Ruggs from Alabama to Patrick Queen, two of my first-round guys. I'm thankful for them, and I thank all the agents who has given me, and Robert Hatter also has given me an opportunity to make clothes for a lot of their players throughout the 26 years of me being successful. Appreciate all of them.
Right.
Bless them all. Let's keep working.
Well, you've been around a long time.
We'll definitely have you back on the Chop Shop in the after the days following the NBA draft. So you make sure the Monday following the NBA draft, we'll be able to talk, because that means you should definitely have a couple of guys. Now the thing is, do you expect the similar format is definitely going to take place for the NBA? So maybe you might start making some T-shirts or something, or some caps or something to put on. That way they can still represent.
Nah, I'm gonna let them guys. All my guys had suits for the draft. I mean, wasn't like none of my guys didn't have suits. They just didn't want to wear them because they were at home.
Hey, we got a request. Somebody want to see your outfit. I know you're there by yourself. Could you stand up?
Man, that man got on some boxers, man. Leave him alone, man. You know how they got to.
Nah, he got a double breast. He got a double breast window pane. Oh, Jim, this how he be talking to me. He got a double breast window pane. That's how he be talking to me, Jim. Yeah. You know what? You know what about CJ, y'all? Let me tell y'all something. What I love about him, hey, when he make my stuff, he sends. Let me tell you something. He sends about 4 or 5 ties, 2 or 3 shirts. You can go with the same suit. Then he'll give you a recommend. Sometimes he'll buy the shoes for you, and put it in your price, and have the kind of shoes that, I mean, it's just he sort of. I would hate to just limit it to you to being a guy that makes suits. You got stylists. You help style. You will set it out. And Jimmy, this what he don't. A lot of people don't do. He will fly to your city when your stuff get there and make sure it fit well on you.
A lot of people don't know that about Robert.
What I'm telling them, listen.
Give that number out again.
My number is 901-378-8273. Or they can reach me by website, CJ Custom Clothiers, CLOTHIERS.com. Or they can DM me on my Instagram at Clarence_2525.
Hey, hold up, CJ. I forgot, Jimmy. Hold on. I forgot about his socks. Jimmy, hold up. With your suit, he gonna give you some socks. The socks that match your shoe too, so you can change your socks up. So you don't have to be.
Hold on. Where my socks at? I didn't get no socks for my socks.
Oh, you know what?
Took my socks.
Yeah. He ain't like you that much. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you gave me socks, but Hella took my socks.
No. Hey, I got.
I don't know what happened, but I did put some socks with it. Now
you ain't put no socks with that. Hey, hold up. Jimmy Jimmy didn't get the NBA package.
Jimmy, I owe you some socks.
Hey man, that was 3 TaylorMades, man. 3 TaylorMades, that qualifies.
Pictures. Send me some pictures of them suits. I'll put you some socks in the mail.
All right, good deal.
See that? Hey, that's crazy. Ain't that crazy? Boy, y'all done mess with me today.
Hey, as Herb mentioned earlier, and I relate a message to you, CJ. He say you were cleaner than an ambulance sheet, cleaner than a mosquito's Peter. And just leave it.
Thank you. Tell him this is my C suit. This is my C suit.
Hey, see, hold up. CJ, I got to stop, CJ. Clarence Harris, your namesake, be on this show every single day, and I did not mention his name not once today, because he usually be antagonistic, but he was sitting back and just making nice comments today. But your namesake, Clarence Harris, please give him a shout out today, Clarence Harris.
Harris, appreciate you, bro.
That's what I'm talking about, man. All love on the Chop Shop.
No, Jim, I forgot to tell you one more thing about CJ. Hey, y'all, I'm going to go and tell you how bougie I was. The man used to make me golf outfits, my golf pants too. Shorts, and golf outfits. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah.
Penny got some. Your boy Penny got some. I made him.
Penny changed.
Yeah, I made him a nice one.
Yeah. But that's all, Jim. I just wanted to give you that.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, man. Great talking to CJ, man. That's awesome convo. And we have his number posted on the Facebook feed. His number is posted on the Facebook feed. And you might be able to top it into the YouTube page for those guys.
What we doing tomorrow? What we got for tomorrow? What we got? You got something special tomorrow?
We have another special guest for you guys tomorrow, and we have a young man that's going to come on either tomorrow or Thursday. And one of the things we always love, young student athletes with an entrepreneurial spirit. Mm-hmm. So, and this young man from out of Houston, Texas, he went and created his own brand of sanitizer.
Yes.
Right? And I've already purchased the biggest pack that you can get. Should be delivered today. I purchased him got him about a week and a half ago. But he's in the 12th grade, CJ. And when the community, when all of the shelves were scarce of sanitizer, his father reached out to a chemist that he know, and because the kid it came up with the concept. Hey, Dad, I think I want to create my own hand sanitizer, and it looks kind of good and sleek. And this young man's in 12th grade, just graduated, going to college, has created a company, and the community has been showering him with support, and because they say it smells good and it works. And so we're gonna reach out, and I haven't set them a date yet, either Tuesday or Thursday. We're expecting another guest on tomorrow as well. But this is the Chop Shop, guys. We definitely appreciate your support. Make sure you share the show if you have not done so yet. Thanks to CJ Clarence Jones, of course, of CJ Custom Clothier. His phone number is listed on the YouTube and the Facebook page. You guys go and you get that number, 901-378-8273. We want to thank everybody for watching. But guess what, guys? It's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing for this Monday. That's Robert Hatter. I'm Jim Hicks. We up out of here, guys. Chop shop.
We
Peace.
Outie.
Peace.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like